When did you realize something was a blessing in disguise? 3 months ago, I came home from work to find my apartment building surrounded by fire trucks, police cars, and a crowd of neighbors all staring up at my floor. My stomach dropped as I realized the smoke was coming from my window. Apparently, my upstairs neighbor had been trying to deep fry a turkey indoors, which is already insane, but then he left it unattended to go pick up beer. The oil caught fire, spread to his kitchen cabinets, and somehow managed to flood my apartment below with a combination of grease, smoke, and water from the sprinkler system. When I finally got inside with the fire marshal, my place looked like a disaster movie. Everything I owned was either charred, soaked, or covered in this disgusting greasy soot that smelled like burnt Thanksgiving dinner. My couch was completely ruined, my electronics were fried, and all my clothes had this permanent smoky smell that no amount of washing could fix. I was standing there taking pictures for insurance when I noticed something weird. My laptop, which I had left charging on my kitchen counter, was completely untouched. It was sitting in this perfect little circle of clean space, like the chaos had just avoided it entirely. When I opened it up, everything was still working perfectly, and that's when I discovered something that changed everything. I had been putting off backing up my files for months, which meant years of work projects, photos, and documents were only saved on that laptop. If it had been destroyed, I would have lost everything, including this massive freelance project I had been working on for 6 months. But here's where it gets interesting. The insurance adjuster told me it would take at least 2 months to find me temporary housing because of how backed up they were with claims. I was basically homeless and had to crash on my friend's couch, which was already cramped since he lived in a tiny studio apartment. After a week of sleeping on a couch that was too short for me and sharing a bathroom the size of a closet, I was going crazy. That's when my friend suggested I look into house-sitting gigs since I basically needed free housing anyway. I found this app where people post opportunities to watch their homes while they travel, and within 2 days, I was house-sitting for this wealthy couple who were going on a 3-month European vacation. Their house was incredible. We're talking 5 bedrooms, a pool, a home theater, and a kitchen that was bigger than my entire destroyed apartment. They even told me to help myself to anything in their pantry and freezer, which was stocked better than most restaurants. Suddenly, I went from being homeless to living in luxury, and the best part was that I didn't have to pay rent, utilities, or even groceries. With all that money I was saving, plus the insurance payout, I was actually making more money than before the fire. But wait, it gets even better. The couple was so impressed with how well I took care of their place that they recommended me to their friends, and before I knew it, I had a whole network of wealthy people asking me to house sit for them. One family paid me $2,000 just to live in their beach house for a month while they visited relatives overseas. Another couple gave me access to their Tesla and asked me to drive it regularly to keep the battery healthy. I started realizing that I had accidentally stumbled into this amazing lifestyle where I was getting paid to live in beautiful homes, drive expensive cars, and basically vacation for free. The house-sitting gigs were so good that when my insurance company finally found me permanent housing, I turned it down and just kept house-sitting instead. Now I live in a different luxury home every few months. I've saved more money than I ever thought possible, and I've seen parts of the country I never would have visited otherwise. My destroyed apartment taught me that I didn't actually need all that stuff I thought was so important, and losing everything led me to a life that's way more interesting and financially stable than anything I had before. The neighbor who started the fire still apologizes every time he sees me, but honestly, I should probably be thanking him.